The night Vair let her husband believe the lie hook. When Vair Bennett discovered her husband was cheating, she didn't scream, she didn't cry, she didn't even confront him. Instead, she planned the most unforgettable night of his life. And by the end of it, everything he thought he knew about their marriage would change. Story: Vair Bennett was the kind of woman people noticed the moment she entered a room. Elegant, quietly confident, dangerously beautiful. For 8 years, she had been married to Chandler Bennett, a rising executive in a luxury real estate firm. Their life looked perfect. A glass penthouse overlooking the city, charity galas, private vacations, designer suits, and champagne evenings. From the outside, they were the couple everyone envied, but perfection has a way of hiding cracks. And Vair discovered one of those cracks on a quiet Tuesday evening. Chandler had left his phone on the marble kitchen counter while he went to shower. Vair wasn't the type of woman who searched through phones. She never had to. Until the screen lit up. A message from a contact saved only as A. Last night was unforgettable. Vair stared at the screen. Her pulse slowed. She opened the conversation. Dozens of messages. Late-night meetings. Secret dinners. Hotel reservations. Her husband had been living another life. For months. Vair closed the phone gently. Her reflection stared back at her from the dark kitchen window. For a moment, she expected tears, but instead, a small smile touched her lips, because suddenly, everything made sense. The late meetings, the sudden business trips, the emotional distance. Chandler had thought he was clever, but Chandler had forgotten something important about his wife. Vair never reacted emotionally. She reacted strategically. The next morning, Chandler woke to the smell of coffee and fresh pastries. Vair stood in the kitchen wearing a sleek black dress, her long dark hair cascading over her shoulders. She looked breathtaking. Chandler blinked. "Well, good morning." Vair smiled warmly. "I thought we could have dinner tonight." He raised an eyebrow. "Celebrating something?" She stepped closer. "Yes." Her voice was soft. "Us." That evening, Chandler arrived at the most exclusive restaurant in the city. Private terrace. Candles flickering in the evening wind. The skyline glowing beneath them. Vair looked stunning. More beautiful than Chandler remembered. He found himself staring at her across the table. "You look incredible tonight." Vair tilted her head slightly. "Thank you." Dinner was surprisingly easy. They laughed. They shared memories. They talked about the early days of their relationship. For a moment, Chandler felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Guilt. When the dessert arrived, Vair leaned forward. "I have something for you." She slid a small envelope across the table. Chandler opened it. Divorce papers. His heart dropped. "Vair." Her eyes remained calm. "I know." Chandler's voice cracked. "I made a mistake." She watched him carefully. "A mistake?" He ran his hands through his hair. "It didn't mean anything." Vair laughed softly. "Of course it didn't." The wind moved gently through the terrace. Chandler looked desperate. "Please, we can fix this." Vair leaned back in her chair. Her eyes glimmered with something unexpected. "You're right." Chandler blinked. "I am?" "Yes." She stood slowly. "Tonight isn't about ending something." He looked confused. "What do you mean?" Vair reached into her purse and placed a small photograph on the table. A photo of Chandler kissing another woman. Chandler's face went pale. "How did you?" But before he could finish, a voice spoke from behind him. "Because I sent it to her." Chandler slowly turned around. Standing behind him was the woman from the messages, the mysterious A. Her name was Arya. And she was smiling. Vair walked around the table calmly. "You should probably sit down, Chandler." Arya joined them. Chandler looked between the two women in shock. "What is happening?" Vair folded her arms. "You thought you were cheating." His voice trembled. "I was." Arya laughed. "No." Chandler stared. "What?" Vair's eyes sparkled. "For the past 3 months, Arya leaned forward. You've been part of a test. Chandler's brain struggled to catch up. A test? Vair nodded. Arya is a private investigator. The world seemed to stop. Chandler's mouth opened slightly. You set me up? Arya smiled sweetly. You failed spectacularly. Vair placed the divorce papers back in front of him. You see, Chandler. Her voice dropped slightly. I wanted to know the truth before I walked away. The wind lifted her hair softly. And now I do. Chandler looked completely defeated. What happens now? Vair picked up her purse. She placed her wedding ring beside his glass. For the first time in years, she smiled. I get to choose myself. She turned and walked toward the elevator. Arya followed. Chandler sat frozen in the candlelight, watching the life he had taken for granted disappear into the night. Closing line. Because sometimes the most dangerous woman in the room is the one who already knows the truth.